Regions with a polar climate are characterized by a lack of warm summers. Every month in a polar climate has an average temperature of less than 10 degrees Celsius. Regions with polar climate cover over 20% of the Earth. The sun shines for long hours in the summer, and for many fewer hours in the winter. A polar climate results in treeless tundra, glaciers, or a permanent or semi-permanent layer of ice. Subtypes. There are two types of polar climate, ET, or tundra climate, and EF, or ice cap climate. A tundra climate is characterized by having at least one month whose average temperature is above 0 degrees Celsius, while an ice cap climate has no months above 0 degrees Celsius. In a tundra climate, trees cannot grow, but other specialized plants can grow. In an ice cap climate, no plants can grow, and ice gradually accumulates until it flows elsewhere. Many high-altitude locations on Earth have a climate where no month has an average temperature of 10 degrees Celsius or higher, but as this is due to elevation, this climate is referred to as alpine climate. Alpine climate can mimic either tundra or ice cap climate. Locations. On Earth, the only continent where the ice cap polar climate is predominant is Antarctica. All but a few isolated coastal areas on the island of Greenland also have the ice cap climate. Coastal regions of Greenland that do not have permanent ice sheets have the less extreme tundra climates. The northernmost part of the Eurasian landmass, from the extreme northeastern coast of Scandinavia and eastwards to the Bering Strait, large areas of northern Siberia and northern Iceland have tundra climate as well. Large areas in northern Canada and northern Alaska have tundra climate, changing to ice cap climate in the most northern parts of Canada. Southernmost South America and such subantarctic islands such as the South Shetland Islands and the Falkland Islands have tundra climates of slight thermal range in which no month is as warm as 10 degrees Celsius. These subantarctic lowlands are found closer to the equator than the coastal tundras of the Arctic basin. Arctic equals. Some parts of the Arctic are covered by ice year-round, and nearly all parts of the Arctic experience long periods with some form of ice on the surface. Average January temperatures range from about 40 to 0 degrees Celsius, and winter temperatures can drop below 50 degrees Celsius over large parts of the Arctic. Average July temperatures range from about 10 to 10 degrees Celsius, with some land areas occasionally exceeding 30 degrees Celsius in summer. The Arctic consists of ocean that is nearly surrounded by land. As such, the climate of much of the Arctic is moderated by the ocean water, which can never have a temperature below 2 degrees Celsius. In winter, this relatively warm water, even though covered by the polar ice pack, keeps the North Pole from being the coldest place in the northern hemisphere, and it is also part of the reason that Antarctica is so much colder than the Arctic. In summer, the presence of the nearby water keeps coastal areas from warming as much as they might otherwise, just as it does in temperate regions with maritime climates. Antarctica equals. The climate of Antarctica is the coldest on the whole of Earth. Antarctica has the lowest temperature ever recorded, an 89.2 degrees Celsius at Vostok Station. It is also extremely dry, averaging 166 millimeters of precipitation per year. Even so, on most parts of the continent the snow rarely melts and is eventually compressed to become the glacial ice that makes up the ice sheet. Weather fronts rarely penetrate far into the continent. Quantifying polar climate. There have been several attempts at quantifying what constitutes a polar climate. Climatologist Vladimir Karl PPEN demonstrated a relationship between the Arctic and Antarctic tree lines and the 10 degrees Celsius summer isotherm. That is, places where the average temperature in the warmest calendar month of the year is below 10 degrees Celsius cannot support forests. See PPEN climate classification for more information. Otto Nordenskier LD theorized that winter conditions also play a role. His formula is W equals 9 C, where W is the average temperature in the warmest month and C the average of the coldest month, both in degrees Celsius in its coldest month. The warmest month would need to average 11 degrees Celsius or higher for trees to be able to survive there as 9-0.1, -20. equals 11. Nordenskier paragraph LD's line tends to run to the north of Car paragraph PPENs near the west coasts of the northern hemisphere continents, south of it in the interior sections, and at about the same latitude along the east coasts of both Asia and North America. In the southern hemisphere, all of Tierra del Fuego lies outside the polar region in Nordenskier paragraph LD's system, but part of the island is reckoned as being within the Antarctic under Car paragraph PPENs. In 1947, Holdridge improved on these schemes, by defining biotemperature, the mean annual temperature, where all temperatures below 0°C are treated as 0°C. If the mean biotemperature is between 1.5 and 3°C, Holdridge quantifies the climate as subpolar. See also, Arctic oscillation, Car paragraph PPEN climate classification. References. External links, NOAA State of the Arctic Report 2006.